Like every year on June 16, the African Union and its member states observe the Day of the African Child as a commemoration of the 16th June 1976 student uprising in Soweto, South Africa, where students who marched in protest against apartheid-inspired education were brutally murdered. To celebrate the children of Africa and call for serious introspection as well as commitment towards addressing the numerous challenges that they face in Africa, the Day of the African Child 2020 themes will reflect on access to a child-friendly justice system. I like to emphasize that a child-friendly justice system in Africa, as adopted by the African Union Executive Council during its 34th ordinary session held in February last year. This year, coronavirus won't allow a congregation, so we brought here the Regional Director of the Department of Children at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection to, help us understand this so we can all help to advance the cause. It's in the person of Alexander Sefa Bwedu. Mr. Sefa Bwedu, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Madam.
So where do we stand in terms of our story when it comes to protecting children? What do the statistics available to the Department of Children say?
If you say the statistics, what are you
what information do you have at the department that tells the story, that tells our story, our Ghanaian story, yes, of how we have been able to protect the children?
Yeah, it's in connection with the policies that the department has come out with. The department has come out with two overarching policies.
Okay.
That's the Justice for Children policy and the Child and Family Welfare policy. And all these two policies are seeking to protect and promote the rights and the welfare of the child. And again, we also have laws, national laws, the Criminal Code Amendment Act, the Children's Act, the Justice for Children's Act, and other acts that promote the rights of the child. But what is happening is that we don't work in isolation. We work in collaboration with our stakeholders. We work with the Department of Social Welfare, we work with DOSU, we work with NGOs and so many stakeholders to promote.
You talk about the laws and the policies and all of that. We'll talk about the AU Day of the Child in a bit. I just want us to set a bit of a background for Ghana.
Okay.
And you talk about the policies and all of that. But the laws and the policies, are they really working in the interest of the child? Is that something that we can safely and boldly say?
Yes, because those children who have been abused, the issues have been sent to court and the justice have been taking place. The
concern has really been that enforcement agencies and organizations or institutions, state institutions like yours, have usually been overwhelmed. You have been under-resourced, you have been ill-resourced, you don't have people to work, you don't have money to work with, and so at the end of the day, we've not really made the gains that we want to make from these policies. How do you see that?
But then the little resources that we have, we make effective and judicious use of it to ensure that the laws are enforced. We collaborate. In fact, that's why we do more of collaboration.
Okay. Let's talk about the purpose of celebrating. I've given a bit of a background in my intro, celebrating the AU Day of the Child.
Yes.
Lots of people will look at this headline and just perhaps gloss over it. What exactly is in there that you think or you want to draw people's attention to focus on?
Actually, the AU Day of the African Child is celebrated on the 16th of June of every year, just as you said. And was instituted by heads of states and governments of the then OAU. And the purpose, as you've just asked, is to commemorate thousands of children who troop in Soweto, South Africa, in demanding for their rights, like you have said. And so we celebrate this day to remember, in remembrance of the bold actions and steps that these children took to promote their own welfare. Again, we celebrate the day because it gives us the platform as a nation to meet and discuss issues that are affecting children and find solutions to it.
Well, were you part of the last meeting in February last year?
No, I in person was not part, but somebody from our department.
Your department. So when the person came back, what did you exactly do with the information that came? I mean, how did that information help our child protection?
Yeah, that information revealed to us our shortfalls, what we are left to do.
Okay, so what are those things? Do you, if you remember any of them?
I think generally it has to do with implementation. Like, for instance, the department that is responsible for children will have to be a resource. As we are under resource now, we go to the regions and the number of staffs, we are few. Okay. So these are some of the comments I remember they made.
Yeah, I didn't go myself anyway. I got that. I got that. I just want us to look at the just so we can be sincere with the stock taking. Yeah. So they went to in February. They went for this meeting. They came back with a report as to the gaps. Yeah. How have you addressed the gaps that were highlighted from that meeting? As in, what exactly did they say, and what have you done, or what has the department done about those? You can give a specific example.
Yeah, specifically, I was talking about our staffing. Okay. Yeah, our staffing, we are under resource. So I remember the recommendation was that we should get more staff, and then we should also be resourced financially and other things, so that we can have the capacity, to work to promote.
So have you had more people being recruited, or?
I think the head of civil service is in the process. Every year they recruit, and this time around, I hope with that recommendation, they will give us more staff.
And has there been any increase in the allocation, for example, of money given to you?
In fact, there's one. It is my national director who is supposed to.
This is beyond your pay grade.
Yes, it's beyond me. I don't want to go there.
Well, I mean, I don't intend to get you into trouble, but these are the real issues that we need to deal with. These are the real questions that we need to ask. Otherwise, we'll just be having fun with AU Day, celebration of AU Day, and we end up missing out on the real issues about child protection. They have recently been, there's this quick one I just want to push in. If you can answer it, it's fine. If not, I'll understand. The children who are begging on the street, coronavirus, and you have children begging on the streets. They walk up to the vehicles and they touch the cars and they ask for money. What is the ministry doing? I mean, what conversation is going on? And again, you're not the minister, so I won't push you too much. But what is the conversation going on at the ministry about these children?
Yeah, actually, children on the street has been a big issue in our ministry. I think we had a project called Operation Send Them Back Home, and that was targeted to take away all the children from the street. But at the moment, I have been told that responsibility has been taken away from us. It's been given to Ghana, the local government service, secretariat service, so that has been taken away from us now. That's what I've been made to understand.
Interesting. Let's look at the theme. The theme for the celebration of the African AU Day of the Child. It's talking about the justice process. Access to
child-friendly justice.
Okay, so child-friendly justice, what does it even mean?
Yes, it should be a justice system, on an environment in which the child will be comfortable to talk about whatever transpired. I'm talking about children who are in contact with the law, and that what it says is that it should not be discriminatory. What has been offered to a child A should be offered to child B. It shouldn't be that this girl or this boy is a rich man's child, and so he's giving a different treatment, and another child is a poor man's child, so he's also being given another treatment.
Does that work in Ghana?
Well, that's what we are talking about. Okay. That's what we are talking about. And again to if the child will have to be retained at the police, or at the police
with any
custody,
of the security agencies in custody,
it will be separated from the adults. And again during proceedings, the media and the general public should not be present. And in case the child is guilty, then he should be given some preferential treatment. He should not be molested, he should not be subject to torture and the like. Okay.
For parents out there, my final question to you, for parents out there who are watching this interview, on this day of AU Day of the Child, what do you want them to take away from the conversation we've had today?
Yes. In fact, because of the era in which we find ourselves, the COVID-19, I would say that already the COVID-19 has had a lot of impact on our children.
True.
First, limited access to education. They will have to resort to the internet and then the television. But even we know that in most part of the country, the internet is not working so much. And then again, some children don't even have access to the television.
True.
Yes, and again, with this COVID-19, there has been socio-economic impact. Some parents have lost their jobs. And so, like, for instance, they also operate the hotels and the like. And so the ability to provide for the children their basic needs and the like has been hampered. And then again, the children themselves are living in fear. They are afraid of being infected with coronavirus. Yeah. So the parents should take good care of their children. They should ensure that the children go by all the protocols that the government has brought about in order to protect ourselves from coronavirus. They should be they should ensure that their children wash their hands. Okay. They use sanitizers, they observe social distancing, they should use nose masks and all the other protocols that will help our children to survive, because they are our future. If they are not there, we are also not there. Come the 40 years now, I don't think the two of us can still be here. Yeah. They will take our place. Well, so if we don't protect them, then we don't have a future as a nation.
I get that, and I hope that the parents are listening. I've been talking to Alexander Sefabwedu. He's with the Department of Children at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. And it's interesting that we bring this part of the conversation about children when it comes to coronavirus and observing these safety protocols. They're watching you. Children mimic us a lot. So whatever it is you're doing at home, they're watching you and they'll be doing the same. I know of children who have now become so used to washing their hands, and anytime they see a bottle of sanitizer, they open their arms. Why don't we encourage more children to be like that as we protect ourselves? And our state institutions, by the way, our health institutions are already feeling the pinch. So you have to take care of yourself. Mr. Sefabwedu, thank you very much for coming.
It's a pleasure, madam.
Okay, let's take care of ourselves.